Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Season 7, Episode 7 of Live with CDP Sports Talk, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210, or email them at info@barrycullen.com. Live with CDP Sports Talk is on weeknights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM in Metro Atlanta, the home of Southern Talk and Sports. I hope everyone's doing well on this Saturday, November 25th, 2023. It's a big sports weekend for me specifically. Eagles-Bills matchup. It's going to be one of the best regular season games of the year, I think. And then we have Michigan and Ohio State at 12 o'clock today, which I'll talk later on my show. But I'm looking forward to my guest today. This is his fourth appearance on my show. He's a friend of mine, and he was with WGRZ Ch.2 in Buffalo, New York for 35 years as a sports anchor and reporter. And I'm going to bring him on right now. My friend Stu Boyar, how are you?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
Good. How's the drive to Syracuse?
It's great. I'm with my friend Paul Catrona. We're going to the Salamanca-Waverly game and then the Bennett Christian Brothers Academy game at Cicero North, Syracuse. High school football state semifinal matchup. So big day of football.
How long of a drive is it approximately?
About 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. The weather looks good from the background.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a beautiful day for football.
Absolutely. And I just did some football, high school football here this week, filming it. And you know what? High school football is exciting to watch as well. No
argument. I love high school sports. Well, let's be honest. We just love sports. This happens to be high school.
Absolutely. Hey, Stu, we're going to get to some questions right now. What are your thoughts on the Bills' 32-6 win over the Jets last Sunday?
Desperately needed. Like the offense. Love the way the game started. Big special teams play. Get the ball right away after, because you knock the ball out, you recover the fumble. Unfortunately, they only got 3. I was big on them punching it in for 6, but they got 3. They built a 9-0 lead before they got in the end zone. So overall, I'll take it. It was a much improved performance over what we've seen for a number of weeks. And it was the Jets, but nonetheless, in that league, it's a win. They desperately needed it, and they desperately need another one this weekend.
I was just reading up some stats on the Bills this year. They're 2-5 with games with negative turnovers. They're 4-0 when they're playing a clean game. So that's going to be huge Sunday against the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles if the Bills can play a clean football game to give them a chance. Because you know this, Stu. College football, NFL, CFL, you turn the ball over, you're going to lose the game.
That is the truth, and hopefully the Bills can play a clean game. And maybe Philadelphia, that win over Kansas City seemed like a Super Bowl to them, and they've got Dallas next week, so this looks like a trap game. So I'm hoping from a Buffalo standpoint that the Eagles do what Kansas City did last week, like drop what should have been a game-winning touchdown pass. Travis Kelce fumbled inside the 10, and Patrick Mahomes threw an interception in the end zone. So maybe Philadelphia will get bit with the same bug, and the Bills will play a clean game. And, it seems to me like the Bills are just going to have to outscore them. The Bills' defense riddled with injuries, and it's top to bottom pretty much. I'm not even sure who's going to be able to suit up in the secondary for Buffalo. So we know those Eagles wide receivers, even without Dallas Goedert, are going to be a handful. So hopefully the Buffalo offense can do some cooking and find a way to outscore them.
Stu, I tend to agree with you on this. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. And I just think it's going to be a miscue or two in this game by either team that's going to decide this game, I think.
Well, hopefully it's Philadelphia making the mistakes. When Buffalo plays like they're capable of playing, even with those injuries, they're still a pretty good team. And it really does come down to turnovers to me. And, I liked a lot of what I saw last week, but you're playing Zach Wilson and the Jets, and that's not Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. So it's a much bigger challenge for the Bills defensively. And we'll see if they can find a way to put pressure on the quarterback, not allow him to escape, and maybe actually turn him over 2 or 3 times. That would be nice.
Yeah, Kansas City sacked him in the first half 5 times, but in the second half they only sacked him once. And Hurts didn't have his greatest game against Kansas City, but all he does is win and make the plays when they need to, especially with the big play to Devontae Smith in the third quarter on the winning touchdown drive as well. Stu, since I got you just for a few more minutes, I have to ask you, what are your thoughts on the Bills firing offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey and his replacement for the rest of the year, Joe Brady, who was with, I believe he was with McDermott in Carolina?
Well, it worked for 1 week. I'll let you know how I feel. It's kind of a week-to-week league, so I'll let you know. I thought his designs were really good. His concepts were really good. He wasn't significantly different, I don't think, from Dorsey, but different enough. A few new wrinkles in there against a very good Jets defense. So it's also, I think, when you have the lead, I think that changes the way you call a game. And I like the fact he got some more people involved. The Johnson 26-yard touchdown run, catch and run was nice. The 81-yard touchdown pass to Shakir was gorgeous. And I don't know how many other quarterbacks can make that throw right through the hands of the defensive back. Shakir caught it, had a spectacular run. So I think for week 1, Joe Brady did a good job. And you know what? In the NFL, the jury's out on this week. We'll see how it goes. And, maybe he can stop the head coach from messing around with the offense, because I think that's where a lot of this comes from. And that phrase, complementary football. I don't want complementary football. I want a lot of points to be scored. Do whatever you can to do that. So, yeah, for 1 week, great. Now we'll see what happens this week against a much, much better team.
The Eagles secondary's had some issues this year with injuries, and Slay and Bradbury haven't had their greatest year. So, if Philadelphia's front four can't get to Josh Allen, I do think there are big plays available for Buffalo's offense. And this Shakir, I really like him. I think he can be a number 2 receiver. And obviously, you got the rookie tight end Dalton Kincaid. Can you just give me a quick thoughts on Dalton Kincaid and what do you like about his game so much?
I like Kincaid because he's got really good hands and he catches the ball more often than not. He's had maybe 2 drops all season, which is fewer than most others. And I like Kincaid a lot, and I think he's had an impact for a rookie. And unfortunately, Dawson Knox, who I'm not that big a fan of, but he's been hurt. And any kind of injury hurts that team. But I like Kincaid. He catches the ball. I think he's come a long way in a short time, and he's become a reliable and effective weapon for Josh Allen. Unfortunately for him, he got upended in Cincinnati and fumbled. If he's not upended, chances are he doesn't fumble. And I think the Bills have a much better chance of winning that game. So I like Kincaid a lot. I think he's had a big impact, especially for a rookie. And I don't see any reason why that won't continue. The one thing I do like about Joe Brady is he got a few more weapons involved in that offense, and it didn't just have to be Stephon Diggs, who I think is fabulous. And unfortunately, he had 3 drops last week, or he and Josh weren't really on target. But to your point about Kincaid, I think he's having a great rookie year, and I would hope he gets consideration for Rookie of the Year because he's been that good.
One thing too, Stu, to look out for in this game. Obviously, Diggs didn't have a great game against the Jets, and AJ Brown kind of had his worst game as an Eagle against Kansas City. I suspect AJ Brown and Steph Diggs are both going to have 100 yards plus receiving and probably some touchdowns in this game on Sunday.
Well, hopefully it's Diggs who gets the 100-plus yards and the touchdowns. A.J. Brown has tormented the Bills before. He did it with Tennessee. So, and unfortunately, the Bills' secondary is really banged up. Um, so we'll see that the guys up front for the Bills are going to have to get this done somehow. And with Jalen Hurts, that's a huge, huge challenge. But um, like I said, it's a week-to-week league, and we'll see what they can come up with. I expect Brown to have a big game, and I hope Diggs does the same. So, at the end of the day, as long as Buffalo comes out with one more point, I'll be happy. And if that happens, you won't be.
Yeah, what I was going to say, Stu, in the off season, I really thought this was a possible Super Bowl preview because Buffalo came in with high expectations. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl last year trying to get back, and I really think this is an important game for Buffalo because 6-5 right now, they're going to be desperate, and that's what worries me as an Eagles fan because right now the Eagles are in a good spot at 9-1, and this is a non-divisional, non-conference game as well. But I still think this game is going to come down to who has the ball at the end of the game.
Well, at this point, I would sign up for that. Unfortunately, the Bills have 5 losses, 5 AFC losses. And as you pointed out, they're desperate. They should be desperate. And sometimes desperate teams play their best football. So if the Bills do not turn it over, they'll have a much better chance of winning this game. And, funny thing is, we've seen a whole bunch of missed extra points this season, including a bunch by the Bills kicker, Tyler Bass. So, unfortunately for Buffalo, there's little to no room for error. Right now, they're still in the hunt, but on the outside looking in. So they need every game, and they are responsible for putting themselves in this position. And let's see if they can find a way to dig themselves out of it, which obviously is what I would like to see. But this is a big challenge, and the Eagles are 9-1. Defending NFC champs. They're 9-1 for lots of reasons. So now the Bills have to go in there and show that they can beat one of the best teams in the league on the road. And then after that, if they can do that, that'll give them a big lift going into their bye week. So, and then they'll have to go to Kansas City and beat them too. But there's no room for error for Buffalo. I mean, you're going to need almost, maybe this might be a little bit much because technically you probably could lose to Philadelphia and Dallas, although it's highly unlikely. But there's no room for error for them. They need to go on a winning streak to get into the playoffs. And unfortunately, it seems like they're going to have to rely on other teams along with winning on their own to get in. And that's never a spot you want to be in, relying on other teams.
And this is Hurts and Allen's first ever matchup, which I'm looking forward to. And you have Sean McDermott, the former Eagles assistant coach for 12 years, going against Jamestown, New York native Nick Sirianni as well. And then Rashae Douglas. And I believe there's another player, Jordan Poyer, former Philadelphia Eagles as well. So there's a lot of stories in this matchup.
Always are in the NFL. And, as long as there's free agency, you're going to have more and more situations like that. So Jordan Poyer was an Eagle a long time ago. I don't even remember him being with the Eagles, but what it always comes down to, Chris, is usually 1 or 2 plays. Who's going to make the plays? And this is a really big one. When are the plays made? Which team is going to make that play at the crucial time? Who's going to do it? Who's going to make that catch? Who's going to throw the pass? Who's going to break up the pass? So, you can make great plays all day, but if you don't make them at the right time, that's not a good sign. My analogy for that is Grant Fuhr with the Edmonton Oilers. It was 4-4. Edmonton got the 5th goal. Guess what? You got no more goals. So who's going to make the big play, and when will they make it? So this, to me, on paper, is a fascinating matchup, and I can only hope that the Bills come out and literally bring their A game, because they got to bring their A game every week. No more room for error. I mean, they're inexcusable losses to the Jets, inexcusable loss to the Patriots, inexcusable loss to the Denver Broncos. And if they came out and played from the beginning against Jacksonville, chances are they win that game. And what was the other one? Cincinnati. Okay, I'll give you that. But again, They had chances to win that one. So I still think the Bills can be a very good team, but they have to prove it, and this is step one.
Okay, Stu, we're going to wrap this up. Who's going to be an X factor for the Bills in this game? And what are your couple of keys for a Bills win over the Eagles?
Key number one, do not turn the ball over. Key number two, turn the Eagles over. Key number three, don't let Jalen Hurts beat you with his legs, because he can. He can beat you with his arm too, but those legs, my goodness, he's a difference maker. He and Josh Allen have similar traits.
Yes.
Who's going to be the difference maker for the Bills? I'll go with Josh Allen, because when he plays like he played last week, under control, smart, and that's where I think Joe Brady helped give him a kick in the backside to get him back on track for 1 week at least. So I'm going with Josh Allen. If he's good, the Bills are good. If he's not great, the Bills aren't great. You know, like it's an unfair standard, but that's life of quarterbacks in the NFL.
What's your prediction? What's your score for this game?
I knew that one was coming. Oh, boy. Well, I'm a Bills guy, so I'm going to go 34-31 Buffalo. Tyler Bass wins it at the end. How's that?
Okay. I'm going to go with the Eagles 31-24, but regardless, Stu, it's going to be a great game, and there's going to be lots of points, I think. And hey, Stu, I want to say thank you so much for giving me some time this morning, and save your voice for those 2 football games you're doing this afternoon, Stu. And we'll keep in touch with you on social media. And also, before we wrap this up, Michigan, Ohio State, briefly, who's going to win, Michigan or Ohio State?
Coin flip. I don't know. I'm just hoping Marvin Harrison Jr. finds his way into a Bills uniform next year. I don't really know. I don't have a feel for either team. So pick a coin and go with Michigan.
All right. Well, I'm going with Michigan as well, and it's a 12 o'clock kickoff. But Stu, safe travels to Syracuse. Have a great broadcast, and we'll definitely keep in touch with you on social media. And enjoy the games and the Bills-Eagles game tomorrow. And thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me, Chris. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
You too. Thanks, Stu. All right, guys. That was Stu Boyar, former sports reporter and anchor with WGRZ Ch.2 in Buffalo for 35 years. Stu is a friend of mine, and this is his 4th appearance on my show. And Stu came on to just talk about the Buffalo Bills, Philadelphia Eagles matchup as well. And also, guys, one thing I was going to do before we get to a video, the Philadelphia Eagles lead the all-time series against Buffalo 8 wins to 6 losses, with their last meeting in October of 2019, which I was at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo, where the Eagles defeated the Bills 31-13, Carson Wentz over Josh Allen. Buffalo's last win in Philadelphia was November 10th, 1996 at Veterans Stadium. But to be fair, Buffalo and Philly have only played 14 times since 1970, and the Bills have only played twice at Lincoln Financial Field, 2003 and 2007. So this is only their 3rd ever appearance at Lincoln Financial Field. They did have a couple wins at Veterans Stadium as well. Before we wrap up the show, guys, I'm going to play a little clip from the NFL YouTube channel, courtesy of the NFL YouTube channel, and it's a preview of the Eagles-Bills matchup, which some thought in the offseason, including me, could have been a Super Bowl preview, but we'll see what happens. But I think this could be one of the better games of the year. Again, this is Bills-Eagles Week 12 game preview, courtesy of the National Football League's YouTube channel.
A game that saw them right the ship.
Flicks it, completes it. Johnson down the sideline.
Philadelphia Eagles coming in off a signature win, avenging their Super Bowl loss to the Chiefs in a huge Monday Night Football showdown.
And here comes the Eagles specialty. The push. Hurts has got another. His 2nd of the night.
This game had been earmarked as a primo matchup when the schedule came out. And if we look at it through Janet Jackson's eyes, it still very much is. What has Josh Allen done for you lately? 275 yards, 3 TDs, a rating near 110 versus a stout Jets secondary.
He's got Cook open. Cook
Takes it to the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, well, Philadelphia just faced the NFL's poster boy, held Patrick Mahomes to 177 passing yards, just 4.1 yards per attempt, a 71.6 rating, picked him off.
End zone, picked off, intercepted by Byard.
Bills Mafia's response, we all saw it though. You escaped with that win because Mahomes' receivers were dropping all those big balls, not AC/DC tracks. Chiefs pass catchers, more like a boy at that certain age at critical moments in the game.
Good protection, aired out. Valdez-Scantling dropped it.
Fly, Eagles, fly. A, don't care. We are the best team in the league. B, we can beat you in a slog fest or a track meet. And C, don't care. We are the best team in the league.
Hurts takes it right up the gut. Touchdown, Eagles.
Jalen Hurts doesn't have standout numbers in 2023. He had a down game on paper versus Kansas City. It was a heavyweight bout. He hasn't needed his own numbers to sizzle, though, because the offense is still plenty caliente.
Here's Swift. Still going. DeAndre, big cutback.
Bills face a Philadelphia offense first on third down, scoring the fifth most points. They're the only team in the NFL who only has to gain 9 yards for a first down.
You do whatever you can, but whatever it is, it's not going to work.
Philadelphia's O facing a Bills D that's fourth in points per game allowed, second in takeaways.
Throw is intercepted this time, and it's Douglas. Rasul Douglas comes in and makes the interception.
Bills were watching that Monday Night Football game. A couple keys to keeping Hurts in check. The big one, pressuring him. Chiefs sacked him 5 times, were in his face all game.
On first down, Hurts is sacked by Chris Jones.
Kansas City's pass rush, one of the best in the league. Bills, well, they come in off a sack sixer.
3rd and 10, here comes Floyd. Floyd's got him. We were just talking about him, Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd had 2.5. He's up to 9.5 for the season.
Pressure coming on, nowhere to hide, and it's Floyd with a second sack today.
It wasn't just the Jets either. Buffalo is second in sacks in 2023, more than Kansas City.
Loses the ball. It's on the turf at the 40. Ed Oliver fumble, ball out. It's loose, ball out, and Epinesa has the football.
Just imagine if Von Miller ever makes it home. It is the holidays, so maybe soon. Kansas City's secondary fed off all that heat. A.J. Brown comes in off a 1-catch, 8-yard outing.
Hurts gets rid of it. Picked off by Snead.
Last time he had that bad a game, he proceeded to go on a record-breaking tear, so beware.
That is, I would say, supermodel right there. It's the mega, stunningly attractive.
Devontae Smith was the one who came through for them versus Kansas City. 99 yards, clutch, late-game catches, 99 yards in 2 of his last 3 now.
Here's a shot for Smith. He's got it. They're going to mark him at the 1.
Buffalo's play versus wideouts in mediocre territory for the season. Their play versus passing attacks as a whole sitting in slightly above average territory. Not bad when you account for the injury issues.
No, it's completed to the other team.
Oh, his 3rd turnover today.
Bills' run defense, not great overall versus running backs. 4.4 yards per carry allowed, tied for 25th.
He bursts out of there. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Travis Etienne! That'll put a nail in this thing!
They take on the Kelsey-Swift pairing that actually matters to football. DeAndre, 76 yards, a touchdown, 6.3 a run, one of his better outings in a while.
There is Swift again, to the edge! What an answer by Philly.
Bills' run game is something also worth talking about. Again, James Cook, 73 yards last week, 4.3 a run. Week before, 109 yards.
Here's Cook on the pitch. Here he goes. Cook down to the 11-yard line, running behind Dalton Kincaid.
It makes a big difference if he can take pressure off Josh. Allen found him for a passing TD, too.
2nd and goal. He's got Cook open. Cook takes it to the end zone for the touchdown.
And he also hit running back Ty Johnson for a touchdown, along with 47 yards. New offensive approach utilized backs as pass catchers a lot in its debut.
Jet sweep play fake, and that just gets the eyes. He did a great job.
It's a touchdown.
Buffalo's passing attack normally headlined by Stephon Diggs, of course.
Allen fires it, complete to Diggs at the 6. Hops to his feet, still loose, touchdown Buffalo!
Very quiet week 11, though, just 27 yards and only 34 the week before. The big man on campus last week was Khalil Shakir, 115 yards, beat Sauce Gardner for an 81-yard TD.
2nd and 5, and it's caught by Shakir. Shakir with Whitehead trying to cut off the angle. Shakir still going. Touchdown, Buffalo!
Tight end Dalton Kincaid, also a consistent contributor, 46 yards last week, 45 plus in 5 straight.
It's Kincaid again, inside the 20 and down to the 13 goes the rookie out of Utah.
So Philadelphia has to defend all 3 pass catchers well. They have not been strong versus running backs, not great versus wide receivers, and bad versus tight ends. They gave up a TD to Travis Kelce in the win.
There's Kelce. There's a touchdown, Kansas City.
They also took the ball away from him in the red zone. And despite only sacking Mahomes once, they hit him a hefty 9 times. Their pass rush, as loaded as Linda Belcher on Thanksgiving, Hassan Reddick nabbed the 1 bag. He has 1 in 3 straight, 1 in 6 of his last 7 now.
Second down and 10, and Mahomes gets plastered by Hassan Reddick.
Allen usually gets good protection. Did last week versus the beefy Jets front. Only got hit 4 times, only 1 sack taken.
Again, the middle of the field is open, and they've got big yardage.
Bills still desperate. Eagles trying not to have one of those letdown games. Comment section should be good, so should our final screen. Let the holidays begin.
All right, guys, that was courtesy of the National Football League's YouTube channel. I still have the Eagles winning this game 31-24. I do believe the Bills are going to get their points, 3 touchdowns in the field goal, but I just think Buffalo's secondary and the linebacking core is banged up. So if Buffalo's front 4 can pressure Hurts and sack them, then they have a chance in this game. But if Philly's O-line protects them and Hurts has time to go to Brown and Smith and DeAndre Swift, I think the Eagles will win this game. I do think Philadelphia has a better offensive line and their defensive front. Buffalo's got a good front 4. So I think this is going to be a great game, but I still see the Eagles winning this game 31-24. This is only the 15th ever regular season meeting between the Eagles and Bills. They don't play that much, and the Bills are never won in Lincoln Financial Field, 0-2, and they haven't won a game there since 1996. Philadelphia's head coach Sean McDermott spent 12 years with the Eagles under Andy Reid, and Nick Sirianni is a native of Jamestown, New York, a part of the Western New York area as well. And Jordan Poyer was drafted by the Eagles in 2013, 7th round pick. I like him. He's a good player. And Rashard Douglas, the former Packer, was with the Eagles in 2017 as well. And this is the first ever meeting between Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. And Jalen Hurts can do a lot of things that Josh Allen can do. Allen's a little bit stronger and a little more physical than Hurts, but I think this is going to be a great matchup. And for the Buffalo Bills, Leonard Floyd, who they got from the Rams, 9.5 sacks for the 31-year-old. So my X factor for the Bills will be Leonard Floyd, obviously with his 9.5 sacks. You also have Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau as well. And Dalton Kincaid, I really like this kid. I think he's going to be their number 1 tight end in Buffalo for many years to come. And Shakir, I think he could be number 2. I'm not sold on Gabe Davis. I really am not as well. But the Buffalo Bills this year are 2-5 with negative turnover games, and they're 4-0 playing a clean game. So if Buffalo can play a clean game and not turn the ball over, I think they have a chance, but I still think I got to give the Eagles the edge. Jalen Hurts is 26-2 in his last 28 starts, and Nick Sirianni, as head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles since 2021, is 32-12, and Philadelphia is 13-2 in their last 15 games at the link. Right now, they are ahead of Dallas and San Francisco for the number 1 seed in the NFC. Philly's 9-1, Dallas is 8-3, San Francisco's 8-3, and Detroit's 8-3. So this is a non-divisional game, non-conference game. A loss to Buffalo would not hurt the Eagles too much, but you still want to keep that momentum and winning going and clinch that number 1 seed. As for Buffalo, they're 6-5. They're on life support in the AFC right now with those 5 losses. Buffalo is going to come out very desperate, and this is going to be a great game. And like I mentioned to my guest Stu Boyar, I really think this game could come down to who makes fewer mistakes and who has the ball last as well. So really looking forward to this as well. Next live with CDP Sports Talk, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph. Tuesday, November 28th at 5 p.m. Eastern with my guest, Nayo Caroline Shabah. She is a holistic weight loss coach and voice technology practitioner. So if you're in the process of wanting to eat healthier and lose some weight, this show would be for you. So again, next Live with CDP Sports Talk Season 7, Episode 8. Again, this Tuesday, November 28th at 5 p.m. with my guest, Nail Caroline Chabot, a holistic weight loss coach and voice technology practitioner. And I'm looking forward to speaking to Nail as well, who I met through LinkedIn as well. As always, Live with CDP Sports Talk is a weekly sports and entertainment talk show hosted by yours truly, Chris Pame. Is now on weeknights at 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM, the key, the home of Southern sports and talk, the heartbeat of Atlanta. Our radio station's website is wqeefm.radio12345.com. Live with CDP Sports Talk is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter /X, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And I want to say thank you to everyone watching my show with Stu Boyar this morning on live streamed as well. You can also check out my website at beacons.ai/Chris D. Pame. All my digital content and previous radio podcast shows are on that website as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk, again, is brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210, or email them at info@barrycullen.com as well. And right now, currently, winter's coming soon here in Ontario. If you purchase a set of 4 winter tires from Barry Cullen Chevrolet, you can get up to $125 in tire rebates, depending on the manufacturer. More details at barrycullen.com as well. You can also follow me on TikTok. I'm on there as a content creator at Live with CDP. Check out my latest content from last night's Crossbody Pro Wrestling card in Cambridge as well. And Crossbody Pro Wrestling is every 2 weeks in Cambridge at 132 North Argyle Street in Cambridge. And a shout out to Ben Ortmans and all the wrestlers down there as well. Crossbody Pro Wrestling. Check them out as well. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports Talk. If you're into webinars or podcasting such as myself, check out StreamYard.com. Live with CDP Sports Talk, the audio version is on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, and Tuned In. And again, weeknights at 8 on WQEE 99.1 FM. Also, you can email me or text Live with CDP Sports Talk at cpame19@gmail.com, or you can text the show at 519-820-7188 with comments, questions, and suggestions as well. Also, guys, today we got Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State and Michigan both 11-0. Ohio State's rated number 2. Michigan's number 3. Michigan is at home at this game at the Big House at 12 o'clock kickoff on Fox. Jim Harbaugh is still suspended, so he won't be coaching the Wolverines. Can Michigan beat Ohio State for a third straight time? I don't think Ohio State has beaten Michigan since, 2019 or 2020. And this is a huge game. It's pretty well going to decide the Big Ten championship. So I'm gonna go with the home team here. I'm going to go with Michigan 24-20 over Ohio State. If Michigan's offensive line can protect J.J. McCarthy and they can get that running game going, I'm going to go with Michigan 24, Ohio State 20 today at the Big House in Ann Arbor. I'm looking forward to it. And this afternoon, I'll be doing some volunteer work with Rogers TV for the Guelph Storm game at 4 o'clock there as well. Also, guys, just a little more game notes for the Eagles-Bills. The Eagles last 4 times they started out 9-1. They all went to the Super Bowl 4 times. So it's a good sign for the Eagles, but we'll see. Josh Allen against the Jets was 20 out of 32 for 275, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception in their 32-6 win over the New York Jets. If Josh Allen plays smart and Joe Brady, their new offensive coordinator, puts them in situations where he can succeed. This is going to be a tough game, man. Buffalo is better than a 6-5 team. Obviously, they've had injuries to their linebackers and Matt Milano and Trey White, etc. But I really think Philly will pull this game out. I'm looking forward to it. It's a 4:25 kickoff at Lincoln Financial Field on CBS with Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson as the sideline reporter as well. But again, I want to say thank you to my guest, Stu Boyar, formerly of WGRZ Ch.2 in Buffalo, for 35 years, for coming on today and giving us the Buffalo Bills perspective on their season and previewing the game against the Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow in Philadelphia. So this is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this. And I think A.J. Brown's going to have a big game for the Eagles. He only had 1 catch for 8 yards against Kansas City, and Steph Diggs, I think, only had 3 catches for a few yards against the Jets last week. So I think both these guys are going to have big games. And I also don't count out Devontae Smith. And I really think the running backs could be a factor in this game too. The Eagles have former Lion DeAndre Swift, who had a solid game against Kansas City, and James Cook, who's capable of taking it to the house anytime he has that football. So I really think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. The Eagles are favored by 3 points. The over-under is, I think, 48 points. But I think Philly wins this game 31-24, but it's not going to be an easy game at all. So I hope everybody has a great weekend and enjoy the Michigan-Ohio State game or whatever college football teams games you support, and also enjoy the NFL games on Sunday night as well. So again, thank you to Stu Boyar for coming on, and thank you everyone for watching live streamed and listening on audio streams. And also, I'm still looking for some local I'm looking for local businesses to sponsor live with CDP Sports Talk. If you're interested, please email me at cpalme19@gmail.com or give me a call or text at 519-820-7188. Live with CDP Sports Talk is on 19 platforms, both live streamed and audio. And I'm also on a radio station in Georgia called WQEE 99.1 FM. And again, I want to say thank you to my main sponsor, Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph, who has been a sponsor of my show for over the past year now as well. So I hope everybody has a great afternoon, great weekend. And I'm going to say this before we go Blue, Michigan, and go Birds, fly Eagles fly. And I'm looking forward to these big games today and tomorrow with Michigan and Ohio State and Philly and Buffalo. All right, guys, we'll see you for season 7, episode 8 this Tuesday night at 5 o'clock, again with my guest, Naya Caroline Chabal. And again, she's a holistic weight loss coach. So tune in to Live with CDP this Tuesday night, 5 p.m. Eastern, and it will be on LinkedIn as well. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching and listening to Live with CDP Sports Talk, and we'll see you Tuesday night at 5 o'clock.